Okay guys, it is time for a new update here on the Bitcoin price, and I can already tell you, yes, we are going to take a look at the smaller time frames today. We took a look at the bigger time frames in our yesterday's or in our day before yesterday's video. Today it's time to take a look at the smaller time frames because within the last 48 hours we have been forming two bearish chart patterns on Ethereum as well as on Bitcoin that we definitely need to keep an eye on, so we are not getting surprised from our next breakout, because as you guys know, we are going to take a look at two very interesting on-chain datas today as well. As you know, and if you watched my last video, you may remember that there is a big dump in the volatility index still happening. We are at the levels for the volatility index that we haven't seen since our big moves in the market in 2018, where we dropped, for example, from $6,000 to $3,200 and so on and so on. So we need to be aware of the fact that the next big move is coming no matter what, actually, because volatility for Bitcoin is extremely important, and we never saw in the history that we are staying that low with the volatility index actually for such a long time. Now let's just jump right into the charts. As always, I would really appreciate it if you would smash up a like here on today's video. Don't forget to subscribe, activate the bell so you are not missing out on any future uploads, and as said guys, leave also a comment down below. That always is appreciated and it supports the channel and myself in pushing out content here for all the crypto users in the space. Let's talk about the smaller time frames first before we jump into the on-chain datas. For Bitcoin, we actually saw a beautiful breakout out of a downward sloping resistance within the last couple of days. But as you guys know, although we are seeing right now a beautiful retest of that past resistance that now possibly has turned into support, we always need to see, and let me zoom in for that a little bit, we always need to see that after the breakout, we are confirming it, but most importantly, we are breaking the old high point, to the upside once again here to get a confirmed breakout. This hasn't happened yet. We are still far away. And interestingly enough, guys, where is that price level? Where is that high point? It is exactly at the $19,700 to $19,600 level. And I think all of you remember what we have on the weekly time frame at that price level as well. We have been talking about the $19,700 over and over again. We have been saying that that is the most important price level we need to get back above of. Exactly guys, exactly at that price level we have our upward sloping resistance here on the weekly time frame, where Bitcoin now for 1 month actually is trying to get back above but is not managing to do so. So we need to keep an eye for Bitcoin on the $19,700, but before we are even potentially able to reach that $19,700 level, we need to keep in mind that Bitcoin is right now here forming a symmetrical triangle, and the symmetrical triangle right after a bearish breakdown or going into the symmetrical triangle with a bear trend, it has a higher likelihood of breaking to the downside. So what I'm doing right now is for sure also keeping an eye on here on our upward sloping support for that symmetrical triangle. It is exactly the $19,000 level actually, and if we're breaking that to the downside with a 4-hourly candle, we sadly need to expect a bearish weekly candle close for Bitcoin today, and with that there is a high potential or high likelihood that our next week also will become very bearish, and I will explain to you in a second why this is extremely dangerous. Let's also take a look at Ethereum. Nothing very interesting is happening on Ethereum. We are still forming a downwards or a descending triangle. A descending triangle, no matter what, definitely is a bearish chart pattern, can be a bearish continuation or a bearish reversal pattern. And what we can see here is that we are just now getting rejected from the downward sloping resistance once again. We need to keep an eye on the $1,320 to $1,330 level for Ethereum, but I have to tell you that even if we break it to the upside, this wouldn't necessarily be a leading indicator for Bitcoin. In my opinion, the only thing we need to keep an eye on, or which is relevant for a bullish reversal, would be the break above the $19,700 for Bitcoin, because on Ethereum, just taking a look on the daily time frame, I mean, we are still just in our sideways movement. The support of 1,240 to 1,250 is still remaining, and as long as we are not breaking that to the downside, Ethereum will not be a leading indicator. And I have to also tell you that looking at the Fibonacci retracement level, we can see that the 0.618, the Fibonacci retracement level we are looking at to determine if a bounce is a dead cat bounce in cryptocurrencies or not, we can see that it is at the $1,700 level, so it's far away from our current price. So Ethereum won't be used as a leading indicator indicator for now to spot in which direction the market may go. Why is all of that right now so dangerous? We talked about it in our last videos already. The volatility index is very low. We have huge open interest, and although we already have a massive amount of leveraged long and short positions at these price levels where we are trading in now for 1 month already, you know that as soon as we break out into one direction, a big portion, around 50% of these open positions, will be forced at some point into liquidation or into their stop loss, which will only accelerate the move in which direction we are going with a short or long squeeze. And the dangerous thing is that although this is already happening, we see that the amount deposited per deposit to derivatives exchanges, so exchanges where you can trade with leverage and have leveraged positions open, we can see that there is a massive increase in the amount of BTC per transaction being deposited there. So not only retailers but also whales are opening positions. There are just a lot of people right now speculating either on a furthermore correction or a massive pump to the upside. And as I just explained to you, because of a short or long squeeze, this will accelerate the direction in which we are going very, very drastically. And that's why we are still expecting that if support doesn't hold, that we just see this very fast and short liquidation spike of long positions, this final capitulation down to the $16,000 to $14,000 level. But what can we keep an eye on to find out if this happens? For sure, first of all, the price levels I just showed you, the chart patterns I just told you, but I have a new very interesting on-chain data. This on-chain data shows us how many addresses in general are depositing Bitcoin to exchanges. So we can see how many people are interested in having their Bitcoin on exchanges. And you remember in our last video, we talked about the supply on exchanges constantly decreasing. Yeah, so less and less people are interested in selling. We can also see that here, less and less addresses are actually interested in depositing Bitcoin in general to exchanges. We also saw that here in the bear market in 2018, right? Less and less addresses in general in the market deposited their Bitcoin to exchanges. Just one interesting thing. When the last time, or one of the last times when our volatility index was extremely low, I showed you that in my last video, and we were expecting a next volatility move to come, actually we saw a final spike in the amount of addresses depositing Bitcoin. So we saw that suddenly a big amount of people got scared again and were ready to sell. And this means, we can see that after that spike happened, we saw constant sell pressure. Bulls were fighting against it. But at some point, because of that sudden spike, we saw the break below support. And that meant for us that we were going into this massive, massive long squeeze and the final capitulation. What is happening right now? We are seeing something similar. We saw easily a very, very nice bear market. We saw a massive amount of addresses stopping to deposit Bitcoin to exchanges. So the total amount of addresses depositing Bitcoin to exchanges fell rapidly. What we are seeing right now is that we are at a very, very low point, at a similar point again compared to 2018. So why I'm going to take a look at this on-chain data now for the next couple of days and weeks, and I will keep you updated on it, is because we might see a final spike. And if we don't see a rounding bottom here, so just a slow continuation to the upside again, yeah, a slow reversal in the amount of people depositing Bitcoin to exchanges again, because the price starts to climb slowly to the upside. This may be the sign that we need to know that there is final sell pressure coming, that there's final sell pressure coming for Bitcoin and Ethereum that will push the price below our important support, that will force all of these massive open positions, all of these new Bitcoin flowing now into derivative exchanges to open longs and shorts, that will actually force all the long positions into a short liquidation, into this final capitulation we also talked about our last video. But in general, guys, as you can also see, this was the sign also that the bear market is almost over, and that's why I'm still remaining in my opinion that we are going to see the end of the bear market with a very, very high likelihood within this year, and we are actually going into the next bull run within this year. So guys, if you don't want to miss on anything and you want to also know, I'm almost thinking about opening a new trade on Ethereum, I can already tell you a short hedge potentially, depending on what our on-chain datas are doing, especially because we are also now just getting here rejected from resistance. Guys, keep that in mind. Don't forget to subscribe, activate the bell next to the subscription button so you don't miss out on any future uploads. As said, smash up a like here on today's video, leave a comment down below, that really supports me, and I'm always happy to see positive feedback in the comment section down below. And besides that, guys, we are actually going to see us in the next video, depending how volatile the price will get. That may be tomorrow or the day after, but in general, I will keep you updated and will warn you before our next crazy move is going to occur. Guys, we're going to see us in the next one. Thank you for watching. See you and have a nice Sunday. Bye.